for coming online with us, with associating with efficient manufacturing. And I will introduce myself. My name is Neha Basudkar Ghate, and I am the joint editor at Efficient Manufacturing magazine. We are published. Our parent company is Publish Industry 4 Lakh GmbH, which is situated in Munich, Germany, and we are situated here from the last. From 2008, and we have two magazines: Efficient Manufacturing and Automation and Digitization. Both the magazines, if you know, Efficient Manufacturing is into manufacturing as well as AME is into automation and digitization portfolios. So let's not take the time ahead, and we'll start with the interview. So my first question to Mr. Matthew, so it would be, how do you overview the digital transformation in business recently, and how well you think has Siemens been able to embrace this digital journey?
Okay. Thank you for your time, Neha. So let me step back and give you a perspective of what I think is the digital transformation that I am seeing.
Yes.
So I think fundamentally businesses are looking to become more competitive.
Yes.
I think if you look at the economy, I mean, I always look at the GDP, and if we are at about 3.5 trillion today, probably took us about maybe about 60 years to get to the first trillion, or about 7 for the second and 5 for the third. Now, if you look at 3.5 trillion economy, manufacturing probably is about, my guess is about 15%, give or take a few percentage points over here. So we're talking about almost 650 billion of manufacturing as a part of the GDP, which is expected to grow to a trillion soon in the next few years. Now, how does it happen? Obviously, there's no magic. It's a lot of hard work. And I believe that that's where, the whole industry should look at becoming more competitive. If you got to increase from, let's say, a 14% up to maybe 20, in the 20s, maybe early 20s, mid 20s, if I look at competing countries which we aspire to compete with, then obviously you should be in the range of 20 to 20, 25 to 30% of your GDP should be manufacturing. So then what happens is that the real opportunity is to become competitive by improving your processes. And if I look at that, that's where we are extremely well placed to help customers in that journey. Because if I look at what's happened over the last few years, one is we're transforming to become a cloud company.
Yes.
So the last 3 years, I'm sure you read up that we've made the transformation, and we probably amongst the earlier ones in amongst the industrial software companies to do that. And I think it's a well thought out decision, not taken overnight, but it's well thought out, prepared, and then we've started moving. So this is we're going through that very well. The second is, obviously, as a part of that, is the Siemens Accelerator, which we introduced, which is an open digital platform to really accelerate the digital transformation of our customers faster and at scale. See, because obviously our customers are across the spectrum. That there are enterprise customers, I mean, really big customers. There are medium scale customers and small customers. So this platform helps customers at scale to really transform their business. Now, what is it actually? It's a portfolio of IoT enabled hardware, software, and services combined to on a as a service model. So again, the reason that we've been able to move well is because we are very uniquely positioned because of the fact that we're able to combine the real and the digital worlds, because of our presence in the IT and the OT segments. The whole digital industries is what that represents. So I think overall, so to sort of summarize your question, one is customers have to become competitive. Obviously, because if we've got to become a country which is becoming let's say a manufacturing hub, as we desire to be, to reach our goals of being the third largest economy by, let's say, 2030, manufacturing has to play a big role. Manufacturing has to become competitive, and who else better than us, Siemens, who combine the real and the digital worlds, with a combination of IT OT on the Siemens Accelerator platform. So that's what I think is happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. Combining the IT and OT and on all the platforms is actually becoming important. Coming on, I mean, like taking the competitive. You mentioned about the competitive, world that you are into, the cloud computing that you are into, which brings to the second questions. With the presence in various industries such as marine, aerospace, defense, automotive, transportation, and many more, how does Siemens digital industry software cater to customized market segments and consumer demands with its portfolio?
Yeah. So again, absolutely a brilliant question, and it sort of it shapes up to your first question. Now, again, we are not a company for, let's say, one industry, because
Yes.
obviously we're catering to a variety of industries. Yeah, traditionally we may have in manufacturing, we may have been focused on, let's say, and over a period of time, we've been across industries. And again, if I look at the economy, and again, if I talk about in context, now there was about a 37% increase in the capital allocation in the last budget, right? So you're talking about 130 billion was allocated. So where is this money going? This is obviously going into railways, it's going into defense, it's going into infrastructure economies, right? So there again, because of the fact that we have specific focus on automotive, as you rightly said, industrial machinery, heavy engineering, aerospace. Aero and aerospace. I'm differentiating between the aero and the aerospace pieces, marine, defense, transportation, as you rightly said, and also consumer companies. Today, for example, CP&R, consumer product and retail companies, also we have solutions specifically catering to them. So how do we differentiate? Because obviously the underlying platform is the same, but then we have this whole concept of digital threads, which is industry digital threads. So which means I have an approach for, let's say, if I'm talking to an automotive customer who's an electrification journey, then I do have a set of digital threads that really sort of tie together to me to help us really position that solution to the customer based on his needs. Now, if I take marine is again, I have a specific industry thread. So we've got specific industry digital threads to cater to different industries. So
Yes.
that's how we really going to market with, because the again, it's all based on the Siemens accelerator platform. And this, as I said, it's not only for a large enterprise, it's for small, medium as well. Now, if I were to just give you an example of, we've set up a we've set up uh, a center in Tamil Nadu with the government of Tamil Nadu at TIDCO, with the Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation. They set up a special purpose vehicle called TANSAM, Tamil Nadu Smart and Advanced Manufacturing, which is actually based on our Industry 4.0 portfolio on the Siemens Accelerator platform, where we've put all this together. So here again, if you look at the type of customers who come in to use it, they are large enterprises, maybe in automotive companies, maybe industrial machinery and heavy engineering companies. There are SMEs who aspire to really make it big with some new ideas. Again, based on this whole, as you know, the Make in India, based on the Make in India theme. So all that is based on this, and we have specific industry threads that could cater to various segments, and that's again we're expanding as we go along.
Yes. So again, based now that you mentioned about industry threads, and that's how you are actually expanding your portfolios, right? And that is actually necessary. So again, the third question is aligned with whatever you are actually speaking on. How do you foster collaboration in partnership with other organizations? Because since you have mentioned industry threads, so I have to put this question forth to actually drive innovation and address business challenges.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. So again, great question, Neha. So can we do it all alone? The answer is no. Because end of the day, I don't, because I have to work with, various challenges in customers. Because again, a customer may be using a solution which is not ours. So obviously, we'll have to coexist with that, with our competitors. But at the same time, uh, collaboration with companies to really expand on some of the partner strength is important. I'll give you examples. Now, for example, Microsoft for adaptive artificial intelligence is an example. AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, from a computing standpoint, right? Or if I take, let's say, solutions for system modeling with IBM Rhapsody, or service lifecycle management in Maximo with IBM, or the industrial metaverse with NVIDIA. See, these are all partnerships that will really help us scale. One is scale our business, and two, provide a solution to customers which covers end to end, because I can't do it all alone, right? That's these larger partnerships that we have. And we also work with partners. Look, I mean, in India, we have a set of partners who are, we have distributors who and resellers who, work with our customers to position the right solution. We've got system integrators, the likes of TCS, the likes of, L&T, Mindtree, the likes of Robert Bosch who work with us. We work with consulting organizations like Deloitte, like KPMG, Capgemini, Accenture. So all this is a part of our go to market in the industry, catering to the various segments that we do. Again, what we really what we do is really work with them to ensure that the Siemens accelerator platform is the underlying base, and based on the industry, the digital threads, based on the journey that they would like to take. Now, every customer may not want to really go end to end. They may want to take small steps. So whether it's an enterprise journey or a step-by-step approach is something that we can really help go forward with our.
It all depends on what customers' requirements are, and based on that, the solutions that you actually have on cloud computing, on whatsoever IoT, OT, or digital transformations, that is correct. Absolutely provided. That's actually correct.
Correct.
Based on your business line, and that has been focused on optimizing solutions and working towards developing next generation solutions, can you tell us? I mean, I need to know more about on next generation solutions based on the based on Siemens focusing on optimizing solution workings towards it.
Absolutely. Again, a very relevant question these days, right? So if you look at the heritage of our company, we were, let's say, focused mainly on the mechanical side of things, like mechanical engineering. We were associated with that, whether it was, design of something, simulation, and, pieces like that. Now, then we realized that if we've got to really address the, as you rightly said, developing next generation, meeting the next generation solutions, meeting the requirements of our customers, we really decided that we should probably look at expanding this footprint. So that's when one of the smart acquisitions that we had was Mentor Graphics, the Siemens EDA solutions, the Siemens Mentor Graphics solution, which is really aimed at addressing the whole electrical electronics segment, right? So that's the piece that we acquired. So obviously we expanded from being just purely mechanical to electrical to electronics. And then let's say our acquisition with this platform, Mendix, which is really a platform to develop solutions, an open platform, open enterprise platform that we use to develop applications, right? So we then moved into the software, let's say mechanical, electrical, electronic software. So if you look at it, our transition over the past few years has really been across that. And I think these are very smart and well thought out acquisitions, which help us address the requirements of the customers, moving from, let's say, pure design, which is an NX solution, simulation, which is a SimCenter portfolio, a planning, which is, our, Technomatics, production. Again, if I look at, we moved now into supply chain pieces as well. Now, for example, when you look at, let's say, digitalization, there are areas of logistics, which is a supply frame, digital logistics, which is, again, an acquisition that has happened, which is really looking at bringing transparency in real time to allow tracking of anything, of any supply, right from its raw material and design to the manufacturing shipping stages. That's really the digital logistics piece. Now, another acquisition, which is again very crucial, and it's a world leader in its own space, is Supply Frame, which is our connected to our, again, it's basically helps any designer execute modification based on availability of the electronic components that are there. Because again, you would have heard of the electronic chip shortages that happened. So where do you really source this from? So Supply Frame really helps doing that. So we moved from just from a mechanical to electrical to electronics to supply chain to quality and of course service with our IoT with IoT. So that's really what's happening. So if I look at the evolution, we were able to really address the whole uh, operation of a customer. Like the whole
Right
let's
from
say the
to, the top level of
correct. Let's say from
managing
the
the
shop floor to the top
yeah.
floor, if I may just sort of just very very simply put, because I'm able to provide that because end of the day, because you need to, because ultimately you need to work real time now, and these solutions are real time because for example it's all put together by our underlying digital thread, which is our team center. I mean, which is our, which is our heritage product. That's where it all ties together. Because if you make a change in something, how do I track it? How do I manage the change? And that's exactly how this all comes together. So
Yeah.
that's really the evolution of what we've been able to do.
No, no, exactly. I mean, providing end-to-end solutions is
Correct.
actually, I mean, like very few companies actually are doing, and
Correct.
Siemens is one of it. So moving ahead, I mean, like you mentioned, mechanical, electrical, and electronic, and I mean, like that
Software.
actually covers the whole manufacturing process. I can say that.
Yes.
But moving ahead from that, how does Siemens Digital Industry Software manages its workforce in terms of sustainability, skill upgrades, and empowerment to meet the demands of the digital era? So this is something away from the, I mean, like the end-to-end needs that you just mentioned. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So absolutely. Again, if I just step back, right? As a software, as an industrial software company, the biggest assets are people. I don't have a factory. I mean, it's we have no factories. We have people, and that's our assets. Now, obviously, as you rightly said, as we became a cloud company, we also had to make the transition. And I said companies like like I'm very proud the fact that Siemens did not decide on the cloud transformation overnight. It was a planned, it was well thought out, announced to the capital markets. So we had to prepare for the whole journey, whether it's in terms of people, the resources, the internal processes, and our customers. So we did that. Now, obviously, I have we are a we are a company which is which has a heritage of 175 years. Siemens as Siemens globally, and again in India we've been here for 155. And obviously the software is a software. We're also been here in India for the last 30 years. So obviously, how how do we ensure that the people that are already there understand this transition? Obviously, there's obviously a very robust enablement plan that was really put together. In training enablement plan that was put together. In the meantime, when we were, let's say, looking at expanding our business, we also looked at people who have experience in working in cloud organizations, because obviously the type of people who probably work in traditional enterprise companies versus some of these newer cloud companies are different. So we obviously really looked at people. Look, when we expanded, we looked at people coming in from these companies to sort of optimize and then help us in that journey. So again, as a company, we're very proud that we have a rich heritage of people who worked right from, we've got colleagues who worked right for 25, 30 years in this company. And then we have, folks who worked in cloud companies who come in, and then, we sort of work together to see how do we do this journey. So in a way, the whole journey has been backed by a very robust enablement plan on our learning platform. We have a very robust learning platform that's there, and people can really do it at their pace and learn. We mandated that. And two is, it's not only us, our partners also, because obviously we are working through our partners. Our partners also had to go through the transformation.
Yeah.
So we also have a very robust partner enablement plan as well, which we regularly do. We sort of have a training calendar that we have a well thought out training calendar, based on different locations that we have done. Of course, initially we had to do it, remotely because of travel restrictions. But today, I think a lot is happening, a mix hybrid. A lot is happening online, a lot is happening in person. So that's how we've really gone together. Because again, as India, right? We are probably the youngest country in the world today, and will remain so for next, many years. So I think that's also, in a way, works well with us as well in the country. So we've been able to make that transition quickly, because I think we also, as a country, also we very rapidly adopted the digital way. For example, again, if I look at what 40% of the world's online transactions are in this country, right? So sometimes the forces of just the forces of nature help you to make the transition faster. So just the force just pushes you to do that. So that's what has happened.
Yeah. Could you please touch upon the sustainability part? You discussed about skill upgrades and the empowerment along with the collaborations that you had. Now, can you please explain me on the sustainability part?
Okay, so when you talk about sustainability, what specifically are you looking for, Neha? What's the
the digital the transition that you had in the last so many years from starting from the basics and now going to IT and OT and meeting the end-to-end customers' demands. So in this process, how was the sustainability factors now since sustainability is is the hot topic nowadays, but how Siemens actually looking at sustainability from going from all the for all these years?
Okay, so I think again it's a very important topic. Just like globally, it's a very important topic for us as well. So I think in the whole area of sustainability, I think we are also looking at our push to, let's say, what is our contribution to sustainability in terms of, let's say, EVs, for example, our foray into the electric vehicle, solutions for EVs that basically we have. Again, that's sort of really looking at how do we sort of drive sustainability, how do we reduce, let's say, the carbon footprint of anything that we do, is something that we do. So I think that's really we, for example, let's say, moving into, let's say, software defined vehicles, SDVs, and software defined vehicles is an example, because obviously complexity is increasing. So we really look at that piece. So I think, I mean, what I feel is that, whatever we do is basically, I think we would look at how do we reduce the carbon footprint. For example, we're working with customers like, to give examples, the customers like Ola, like Ather, like Simple Energy. All these are customers who are EV, born EV customers. They had no traditional, ICE, internal combustion engine products. They started grounds up. So we've been able to work with some of them to really drive that topic. At the same time, our four-wheeler manufacturers like, let's say, Tata Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, they have obviously be working with them on the ICE, for their ICE piece. They've been customers for us on that piece, and now they also have started adopting solutions for the EV piece along with that. So I think our software suite primarily, that's why I said, I am able to cater to whatever the customer wants. For example, a customer may say, no, I want to sustain the ICE. And again, for example, ICE is not going away. Despite the growth of the EV industry, I think ICE is going to stay. Yes. Let's say at the end of March, I think we sold about 100,000 EVs, and out of which I think 70,000 were two-wheelers, and that's where the market will grow. But ICE is not going to replace ICE. For example, at home, I have an EV. I also do have an ICE, because obviously it's always a balance that you basically do. Yeah. So that's where we really come in from there.
Okay. Now, thank you for actually touching upon the sustainability part. So, can you throw some light on the advanced manufacturing visualization, which Siemens would like to, comment on, and how does it affect your business strategy, and along with, your vision to do business operations in the next coming years?
Absolutely. Again, a very future-looking question, and again, it's a very important topic. For example, that is exactly what our partnership with NVIDIA is about. This whole immersive experience that we have. So if I look at it, the advanced manufacturing that you asked me about visualization, it enables us to see the factory of the future. I mean, the future of a factory and the advanced manufacturing systems through the industrial metaverse, well before their production readiness. So look at it, like, for example, we do have products which can actually simulate a plant, and sort of see it visually saying, okay, how does the layout look? Where does the machine look? Where does the operator stand? Now imagine with the industrial metaverse, with Omniverse, which is NVIDIA's solution, I'm able to even actually feel my way there, actually feel my way and walk through it, and then see, okay, this is how it lay out. Or do I have enough space? Actually physically, look at it, fundamentally, and then look at how that experience is. I think that's the whole paradigm that is there, and that's again where the whole digital twin and the executable digital twin comes into play. For example, if imagine if we're able to really, when I talked about digital twin, it's like, for example, if I'm able to make something without actually making it,
Exactly.
I'm doing something, making, that's a digital twin. Now, what's an executable digital twin? Okay, now I've made a digital twin, I've placed it someplace. Let's say I'm moving it, I want to move it. So everything should move. So obviously, with the help of the metaverse and let's say an IoT device, I'm able to move it. That's really an executable digital twin. And what I'm told is that with of course the combination of simulation tools and IoT, this is something that will help the industrial production become smarter. Our estimates, global estimates, is that today the let's say the market is about whatever 10 billion or so, which was 10 billion globally, expected to about almost 10 times in the next 5 years. So this is a very important topic. And again, as I said, if you look at how we've transformed, right? Just imagine we transforming from a pure mechanical software company to the whole piece where we are talking about partnerships with like Microsoft and with AWS, with IBM, with NVIDIA, is where all this really comes together, because it's an evolving thing, Neha, because it's not, I can't sit on my hunches and then say, okay, I have it all. I think it's just what is happening, and it's no longer, we don't have time, right? And the customers, today a customer really comes and says, okay, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? So we also have to respond quickly, and that's where this whole thing really comes together, and in the new cloud world.
And according to you, sorry, this is not, like we have actually ended the interview, but this is from my side. How do you see the future of digital transformation, innovation? How would you like to give your perspective on? Being part of Siemens is okay, but what is your pure, things on?
Absolutely. Yeah. See, I've been working in the industry, in the Indian IT industry, for the past 32 years. So if I look at it, I've seen the whole journey from a client server computing to internet computing to I've been very fortunate to have really witnessed this transformation. And I think sometimes it's hard for me to believe also. For example, like the case of an airline ticket. If I had to travel, let's say 30 years back, you still had to wait for that physical ticket jacket before you really went to the airport. Today, you don't even forget the jacket. You don't even print a boarding card, right? You just scan it, and if you're on a Digi Yatra, you really scan your boarding card, go through. So that's a transformation that is taking place. There is no way out for companies if they have to remain competitive, and that's what I tell my customers. The digital transformation is a must. It's a given. So when people say that, I'm thinking, they may actually be left behind in the whole journey.
But
and
is there any
that's also
advantages?
No, I think surely competitive advantage, because you may be able to do something much faster and much more at scale. See, I'm not, they may not, what I'm saying is, it's not that you can't do something. Of course you can do something, but then are you nimble enough to really, are you using technology as a differentiator? Because that's the way to do it. Like, for example, sure, you may still function, but how fast can you keep up with the faster? Like they say, right? I've got to run faster. I've got to be faster than the slowest to really be competitive, right? That's the way it is. So it's the way I see it's given. The digital transformation, the whole concept of digitalization, and where do we put it in? And I'm saying there are companies who do end to end. There are companies who say, okay, let me focus on this. What I'm saying is, for example, companies may put up a new plant, a greenfield plant. Companies may say, no, let me modify a brownfield. So there are multiple strategies that can be adopted. So that's the way, and that's exactly where companies like us can help and advise people to say, okay, this is what you have currently. This is where you want to go to. we can help you in stages. And it's not that, you do it all at one go. It's also, what pieces can you sort of, adopt to quickly and then get quick results is basically what I would recommend companies to do. So net, it is happening. Companies will have to transform. And that's another thing that we're noticing. The younger generation in a lot of companies are coming over to take over from the founding fathers or the, things. So they also realize that they need to make that transformation. Like, for example, to the cloud, or let's say, what I'm saying is, what is my core competency? Like making a car is my core competency. So, what helps me make a car is not what I'm saying is let's say the other system that support it is not my core competency. So let me see how I can work with companies who specialize in that happen. So that's the whole transformation that's really taking place.
Yes, absolutely. I am totally happy with the inputs that you have actually given it to us, and really thank you for collaborating with us, associating with us for the interview. I will take this ahead. Don't worry, and thank you, Mary Thomas, sir. Really.
Thank you, Neha. Appreciate your questions. Very well thought out questions. Appreciate it. Again, truly enjoyed the interaction. Thank you for your time. And thank you, Molly. Thank you, Akanksha, for setting this up. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Molly. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye bye.